ladies and Gentiles. It is I, Dick Thunderlips, back from my on-location vacation, where I attempted to get an exclusive piping hot scoop interview with Jonathan J. Sexton in person. It was not in the cards. Dick got kidnapped. He got in a van he shouldn't have got into. He had his $5,000 scarf stolen. His $8,000 sunglasses thieved. And so here I am with these pathetic $30 shades on. I can't even see the screen right now, folks. But Dick's going to try to give you the scoop you all deserve after missing week 1. We'll give a little brief recap of week 1 right after this, but we're going to get in-depth in the dirty of week 2. Welcome, Heroes of Fantasy. This is your fantasy recaparoo for week 2 of Heroes of Fantasy Football. Folks, L. the Destroyer, Obi-Wan Mahomie, Jose Valdez off to a hot start, picking up the dub, scoring 138 over poor innocent Stephen Naramore. You'll see how he got it done here with his Mahomie with 24. So disappointing. Alvin Kamara week, but it didn't matter because the rest of the team said, I got you, boo. Look at these solid scores, 16, 16, 15, 17, 18. Just across the board, folks, Devin Singletary, Devontae Adams, Deontay Johnson, showing that a Pittsburgh receiver can get it done. Gronk acting like he's 18 again out there, folks. And let me tell you, Mike Williams chipping in. Cole Beasley, a disappointing day, but it didn't matter because the Patriots D feasted on those poor, hapless Jets. Not much to do on the bench of old Jose, but hey, when you got Patrick Mahomes throwing the pigskin, not much else matters, folks. So he put up a doozy of a dime, dropping Stephen Naramore to 1-1, only scoring 104. Tom Brady still looking like a stud out there, but a disappointing day from Antonio Gibson and Joe Mixon. Oh, I like what you did there. Is going to seal his fate. He didn't get much from Amari Cooper. A disappointing sophomore game from him. Godwin still turning it out with 14. TJ Hawkinson with 16. You like to see that. But not much to do from elsewhere. Elijah Mitchell disappointing 6. And only a deuce from the Steelers D. And this is where you like Steven might have put in Commander Shepard instead. Or maybe Julio Jones. But he couldn't have known. But Steven's got some depth. Things are still looking up. He's got Michael Thomas eventually hopefully going to play. We'll see if New Orleans has a pulse by then. Who knows? Really consistent. But you got to like what you see from Steven's team. But he goes to 1-1 against a tough Jose team. Now moving right along, folks, as we'll take a look at prediction pain. Ricky G himself, the Chief, in action, dropping 119 as an opponent, going 2-0. Jalen hurts me no more with 21. Disappointing day, but he got a rushing TD to salvage it. Didn't do it through the air, but got it done with his feet, and that's why he's the juicy one, folks. Ezekiel Elliott, he ate some, 16. Pollard vultured some of his touchdowns. Otherwise, he would have had a much juicier day. Jamal Williams, disappointing, only 5 points. But it didn't matter since he got the dub. Justin Jefferson, still showing he's got it. And Scary Terry, as scary as ever. I guess it doesn't matter who's hurling the pigskin over in Washington. He's getting it done, folks. He's the real deal. Darren Waller had coverage on him all day. Only got 9 points. Only 5 for Robbie Anderson. 16 for Brandon Cooks, despite Houston's weird day, and the Seahawks D with 5. Look at that juicy 21 from Pollard, talking about the vulture on the bench, and 15 from James White, showing that he might just have something left in the tank, folks. New England might just run the ball after all. 119, more than enough to get the job done against his opponent, Matthew J. Segovia, the greatest American hero, going to 0-2. Tough loss is actually pretty close here in the end. Russell Wilson dropping 23 and 15 for Chris Carson. You know, Matt Segovia, huge Seattle Seahawks fan. He hates those Arizona Cardinals, obviously. But boy, does he hate James Conner. I don't know what he's doing to playing him with only 2 points. 15 for Calvin Ridley. 22 for Mike Evans. Disappointing Kittle day. Between disappointing Kittle day, not much out of the flex. It more than sealed his fate, despite 10 from the D. And, you know, not much to do on the bench. But he said a solid day from Stafford. You're hoping to get something out of Coleman or Bell. But Matt's going to might have to dig deep for some new flex options. Or it could be a long, long year for Matthew J. Segovia, the big Seahawks fan. Zipping right along here, folks. We had a trouncing as the professor goes to 1-1 with 94. Not super high scoring, but enough to get it done with 32 from Lamar Jackson. 7. A disappointing day from James Robinson and Miles Sanders with 6. Disappointing Robert Woods again. Disappointing. I say disappointing a bunch. This is how you get to 98 points, folks. But hey, Adam Thielen with a pulse. Leonard Fournette with a solid 9. And the Cardinals D not doing much with only 1 point out there, folks. 14 from Stephon Diggs. Not sure why he was benched. But there it is. Professor probably punishing his little digital heart. But hey, enough to get it done here as he drops Jay Sizzle 2-0-2. Home improvement needs to make some improvements. Josh Allen, 16 solid. But Jonathan Taylor, his namesakes here, not doing much. And as anticipated, the tag team of the Colts running backs didn't quite get it done here. Let me tell you. DK Metcalf not looking like what he's supposed to be looking like. And Higbee, just a disappointing B, if you will. Meanwhile, on the bench of do, 16 from Michael Pittman. Looks like he's playing the wrong Colts. 17 from J.D. McKissick. Oh boy, popping off on the bench might have helped out, but Jay Sizzle looked like he needs to make some improvements to the team. That is the home improvement squad. Otherwise, again, might be the cellar dweller for Jay Sizzle as the year goes on. And no chances. Our battery's running low, folks. We gotta get some emergency juice. Hold on. Dick didn't realize that we needed the juice up here. Hold on. Speaking of juice. There we go. Yeah, now we're cooking. Speaking of juice, that's what happened to C Jizzle as he drops the game to Adrian. Adrian's showing he doesn't need Tyree, apparently. He is daddy, going 1-1. He was ready to quit after week 1, but hey, he's back apparently. So to the pits of hell we go, dropping 132. Dick's got hairs in his mustache. I don't even know what this happens. I found this on the ground. All of Dick's mustaches were stolen as well in the thieving when Dick got in the van down by the river. So this is a used mustache. I found it behind a crevice on the ground. So taking a look here, the big cheese. Adrian, huge Packers fan. Huge Packers fan, Adrian. Thanks to Mr. Rogers with 26. A disappointing follow-up game from Montgomery and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Adrian might need new answers at running back. It's going to be a long year. Very much carried by the Buccaneers D and Cooper Kupp's big day. Adrian scored a poop load of points. Not much else on the bench. Zach Pascal maybe has a pulse, but Adrian scored a crap load against poor C. Jizzle, who's having a tough start to the year. As we take a looky-loo, Dak Prescott not looking so good in week 2, Jack. But Derrick Henry, that man ate. He ate a lot. But CJ squandered those 44 fucking points with the rest of his team dropping a turd. Only 18 from Eckler was solid, but 12 from Jamar Chase, 13 from Debo, and not much else besides 11 from the Colts. Saquon Barkley's got to do a little bit better, folks. They're still not giving him the full juicy load he might be getting later. We'll see. Harvey on the bench looking like he might be the better option than Dak, although he didn't impress either. And boy, oh boy, does CJ look like he has a solid overall squad, but he squanders a popping off day from Derrick Henry and drops an L to Adrian. That's a tough one, folks. As you'll see as we continue, C. Jizzle would have beat pretty much, he would have beat almost all the other teams except for Jose. Tough matchup. But hey, that's why we play the game, folks. Meanwhile, we've got Zachariah, Fitz and the Tantrums. Oh boy. Let's see, 2-0 now. Look at this. Look at Zach pulling around. Buck 24.6, enough to get it done on the heels of Kyler Murray, 33 points. Big old juicy day. Big day from Najee Harris as well. You see him stiffing on people like beast mode. He's looking good out there. Kareem Hunt, disappointing. Disappointing day with only 5 points. 13 from D-Hop. 13 from CeeDee Lamb. Just solid up and down the board here in the middle. Daryl Mooney with a pulse and 8 from the Rams. You got to like. Not much on the bench, including Tua getting hurt, getting knocked out of that game, but it didn't matter because this guy's locked in with Kyler Murray looking like a stud. Big year for Kyler Murray and a big year for Zach with that Murray D-Hop connection, folks. Meanwhile, that drops Freddie to the tough luck loser, Bucko 8. Los Muchachos go to 1-1, as Jameis Winston does not get it done in his second start of the year. We'll see if he can rebound next week. And speaking of squandering big running back performances, the other big running back performance, Mr. Aaron Jones with 4 TDs, scoring 38 points. He's got 20 from Kelsey, 20 from Hollywood Brown, and it's still not enough, folks, to get it done. Just a tough break for Freddie, because in between the numbers, just disappointing days. How does Tyreek Hill only get 4 points? I have no earthly idea. Not much else on the bench, but Freddie's got brighter days ahead. If that's a low point for his squad, boy, he scored 108 points when Tyreek Hill's got 4. He's got a bright future, but he drops to 1-1. And speaking of bright futures, let's talk about Tyree. Maybe not a bright future, but a bright present, going to 2-0, dropping 99 against Danny Boy. The score a lot closer than it looked when it shouldn't have been, frankly, because, well, you know what, it still would have been close. But Mr. Tyree dropping Teddy Bridgewater with 21 out of nowhere, Chubadoo with 16, A-Rob with 9. Not overall a lot to hoot about, but Courtney Sutton getting it done with 20, and Mr. Marvin Jones with 14. You see here, he had DeAndre Swift in, but benched him when he realized he had the lead going into Monday Night Football. He didn't want to risk DeAndre Swift fumbling and leaving the game with an injury, so he took the dub, or as we call it, the coward's way out. Or as other people like to call it, you bitched out. But hey, you got the dub, but you the bitch, Tyree. That's how we do around here. Your boy Adrian doesn't bench people. He's out there, big Packer fan, just winning by 20. You're out here winning by 1. That's fine. If a scoring adjustment happens, tough luck, son. Sorry about damn look. Meanwhile, Baby Shark on the bench. Disappointing day. DeAndre Swift would have scored 9, and Henry Ruggs looking like a stud with 20, folks. So Tyree's got some depth. You like what he sees. Up and down. Got enough to get the dub. While Danny Boy's squad just suffered a tough luck loss again, dropping to 0-2, only scoring 98 as we took the looky-loo. Just played all the wrong dudes, and it cost them. I mean, granted, you're not going to bench some of these guys. What are you going to do? Just a terrible day from Trevor Lawrence and Laviska Shenault. His combo just withered, and thus it punted away a strong day from Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, and Tyler Lockett. Darrell Henderson putting up some juice before he left the game, and frankly, just played the wrong D. Had Buffalo dropping 22 on the bench, folks, and played the wrong receiver, the wrong flex in Devonta Smith, who just disappeared because Jalen Hurts just wasn't passing. But Zach Moss has a pulse on the bench. Baker Mayfield is a backup QB, might have to be considered. Danny Boy's got some weapons. A tough 0-2 loss, 0-2 start to the year. But hey, what are you going to do? As we take a look real quick, just wanted to say, since we missed week 1, we'll give a quick looky-loo here. As you'll see, Jose did just barely edge out Danny Boy in week 1. Danny Boy, a high-scoring team, but did get the L week 1, as we saw Patrick Mahomes and Gronk lead the way for L's team, Jose's team. It was a tough one. Zach did put down CJ. CJ again scoring over 100, but it wasn't enough to get it done in week 1. Again, Kyler Murray dropping 30. He's looking like a stud, folks. And that Murray D-Hop combo, when they're popping off, Zach's going to be real tough to beat. Freddie getting the win over the Professor by a slim margin. Big Tyreek Hill, Kelsey day there. They both got solid teams. It's going to be an interesting year for both of them. Meanwhile, Adrian got smoked week 1, mainly due to Aaron Rodgers disappearing off the face of the earth. And Cooper Kupp kind of carried the team, but hey, Ricky G got the dub there. Thanks to some solid performances from Hurts, Waller, and whatnot. And hey, you're not going to complain about that. 122, folks. That's more than enough to get it done. Meanwhile, talking about shitting on someone, Steven Naramo with the hottest start of them all. $1.63. Put Jay Sizzle in his place. Always scoring 77. Jay Sizzle has some work to do on his team, folks. Might have to look for some trades. Maybe some pickups. He's got to make some improvements. Steven's got a bright future. Even if Amari Cooper's not popping off for for 30 points. As long as Tom Terrific's leading the team, he's going to have a good year, folks. Meanwhile, Tyree, the start of his 2-0 tenure here, as you'll see the chubby one getting it done. Interesting Tyree team. Not star-studded, but hey, solid. And meanwhile, you got to think Segovia's team's going to do a little bit better week in, week out. Big Seahawks fan. He'll live or die by the Seahawks, folks. Anyway, that's it for week 2. Dickie Doos got some new fancy scarves on order. $9,000, $10,000 scarves on their way. Possibly some new shades. So next time, full dick makeover. But until then, get out there, do some trades, pay your league dues to Oscar before he's going to send out the vans to pick you all up. And until then, get in there hard and fast like Dick likes it. And until then, Dick's out, baby.